Rimworld is a game that looks very basic, but man, it is more complex than you'd think. I mean, look at this. Only a few games describe how fingers are removed after some kind of injury. This is a bit different than what I usually do, but I hope you enjoy. So what I did was I set up 4 people to survive on their own. The perfect nuclear anime fox family. A dad, mom, son, and daughter. The dad was a war vet, perfect for defending the colony against raiders and hunting for animals. The mom was a journalist for something, and was great with socializing and medicine. She would be great for the more sciencey type stuff. The son is a lazy ass, but a good chef. So while he wouldn't be great in a fight, at least the colonists would be happier with better food than just simple meals. And the daughter wanted to be just like her dad. Great with shooting and could build things that would be of higher quality than what the other colonists could pull off. I set their destination right here, far away from where they are now. So their survival essentials were packed, and they were launched to their new home. From here, it was anyone's guess what would happen. Things always change in Rimworld. And with 1.4 coming up with the new Biotech DLC, who knows what that's gonna be like. As for what was packed, they were better equipped than most Rimworld starts. But if you know Rimworld very well, there's always a way for that to crumble down. They were a long way from guaranteed safety, so they couldn't get much help. Once they landed, first thing to do was make a home. So might as well use an old ruin for a start. The first thought that came to my mind was this isn't going to be a permanent spot, but sometimes things change. Next was cutting down some trees and harvesting berries. But, I forgot to give them the task of doing that, so they never actually did it for a while. But everything else was simple stuff. Deconstruct other ruins, take the floors, the usual. Things were looking good. No threats were coming, no man-hunting animals were around. I still somehow messed up the tasks because of my tired mind, but all was well. After seeing a patch of rich soil, it was the perfect opportunity to grow something in the warmer weather. But I forgot to make it one of the most overpowered plants, rice. Instead, it was just potatoes. By the time I realized it, the crops were already on their way of being picked, so there was no point until then. With the resources they had, there were a few production tables for butchering and cooking. Very basic, but at least it wasn't on a floor. I also thought it was a good idea to make the whole map marked as a home. Don't know why. Just as the water well was about to be put down, they got their first raid. And it was a group of zombies. I could tell because the game lagged before the event marker even showed up. And when I saw the horde, it looked pretty bad. They were already tearing into the wildlife, and it seemed like it would be the end. They were pretty close as is. So, they all gathered up their weapons and flare gun, and I sent them in. Already, the flare gun proved to make the fight more difficult, not easier. But the other 3 were hard at work. After a while, the horde started to charge them, and the first one to get hit was Airmaid. What a While they were trying to eat him, the others swiftly took the rest of the zombies out. It was at this moment that I realized they couldn't take him back home to give him any medicine because I never set any bed spots down. So I put them up and hoped that our only shot at good food wasn't down for the count. So far, the casualties. Ichika was shot in the back with Mayu's shotgun. That's not bad, but come on, it really had to be friendly fire. And Airmaid was also shot with Mayu's shotgun. And a bite from a zombie, though luckily there was no risk of him being infected with the zombie virus, surprisingly. Oh, and he's missing 2 toes. Bummer. All was good though, despite those 2 bad accidents. Now the house just had to be heated up to beat the cold outside and for the wounded to be healed up. Then, it was time to give them more tasks. And the butchering process, well, just in case, we'll butcher bodies to make sure they're doubly dead. At this moment, it was time to expand. We needed power, and the resources were there just lying around. Not only that, but it was about time to get some kind of entertainment going. So, there's just a simple horseshoe toss and chessboard. Not much, but hey, sometimes you get desperate to rest and relax. After dealing with a cramped house for quite a while, they got rather annoyed and their mood went down. So, it was time to expand the house. Back in the land of the rich, it was about time to help the other colonists far away. So they made a transport pod launcher to send them some aid. But that wouldn't be until later on. Work on the house was just about complete, and the power room was about to start. This place was starting to actually feel like home now. And only at this moment have I realized that they've been shitting in bushes for the past few days. So a bathroom was in order. Separated from the house, and big enough for all they could need. It was just an inkling of lavish living. And then another zombie horde. But this time it was back in Richville, so that would be taken care of easily. And then one of them got shot multiple times in the back, bleeding profusely. They would survive, but it was almost humiliating. It goes to show no matter how rich you are, you can still somehow find a way to fuck up. But now, it was time for a proper system of clean living. Water pumps and purification. Some guests wanted to come in, and I said, yeah, why not? It was too much, so I kicked them out almost immediately. But I did trade with them before they left, so at least something was gained. Checking back in on the colony's progress, the bathroom was done. Except for the sewage, so we just pumped the sewage outside near the river. You know, the city skylines maneuver. Now, it was about time to stock up on ammo before it was too late. Just enough to last for a few more days until better weapons could be looted or made. And it was time for even nicer living. So, there's a fireplace and some actual beds to sleep on. Things were looking better than before. Oh, and you just can't forget a table to eat on. Or else everyone will just go crazy. But then I noticed there was a lot of ore around the area. Good steel spots, and it would reinforce the colony's stuff pretty well. So, they got to work, and the output would have us secure for quite a while. And then, that's also when I finally noticed that there was an ancient building. Another thing to worry about. Back at the home base, I saw that there were dentures stockpiled in the med bay. So I had an idea. What if they just sent all of their junk to the other colony to get rid of the extra garbage? It'd be perfect because the unneeded trash will be disposed of, and others can use it for whatever they need. Recycling! Sort of. It was sent off and they got their dentures, for some reason. And then someone new passed by and joined the colony. But they didn't really have much to contribute to. So, Mayu blasted them. And that's when I changed the butchering table's allowed settings. But now, it was time for a building that could house all of our workshop needs. Available space was getting thin again, and now was the time to use all the steel that was collected. And then there was a little expansion with entertainment around the place, with a piano, punching bag, and a dartboard. Oh, and after seeing a fire alert in a place that didn't really matter, I fixed my previous problem of making the whole map a home. Another attack, this time back at home with man-hunting megasloths. And no friendly fire this time. It was a feat to celebrate, truly. Now, it was time to power up the workshop, and it was a sight to behold. A clean, large room, soon to be filled with many resources. A delightful dream turns to reality. Now, the house can feel more like a house and less like a jumble of everything put into one. After making a shotgun, it was time to put Air Maid to use. No more flare guns. A long few days have passed, but this place was starting to feel like home, and getting advanced quickly. It helped a bunch that the research was already fully complete in every aspect, but still, it was a good accomplishment for a small family of a colony. With grown confidence, it was time that we find out what was in that ancient complex. So, everyone was gathered right at the facility. And then a big-ass raid showed up with no way in shit to survive it. One would think that attacking an ancient facility with a base nearby would be a bad idea. But still went with it anyways and tried to make a hole right into it. And right as we're about to attack the base is when Ichika wants to give this place a name. Great timing with these things. So the name came to be Camp Suck. Once they blew right into the walls, there were 4 mechs waiting. Immediately, they began to attack with things that I didn't prepare for. So they took cover behind the mountain, planned something out, and went out for a charge. I have no idea why Kanako went out for bare hands though, but what a Chad. 2 of them spread out and went other ways. One of them shooting from afar, and the other destroying the furniture in the house. With one mech down by friendly fire, and the second one in the house, the fight was easier to manage. 2 would charge one, while 2 would charge the other. And then Airmaid went down once again. Kanako was taking hits with no damage to his body at all, while the other 3 were getting bad hits. No matter how much was thrown at them, shotguns and pistols were not doing much. But something had to be done before the mechs destroyed any more of the colony's furnishing, or worse, killed them. So with some time and a lot of ammunition, they all went down and recovery could finally begin again. Because the fight was finally over, and Hanako was the only one that was healthy, it seemed fitting to reap the rewards of a hard fight. Until there was another zombie horde. This one wasn't as bad as the last one, but they immediately attacked the wildlife in a rage. Not good. Thankfully, they were on the southern regions of the map and pretty far from the house, so things seemed alright. Kanako went in to find that they struck a Psychic Soothe Pulsar, Luciferium, a Weather Normalizer, and a Tech Print, as well as many mystery Cryosleep caskets. Yet another horde came up back home, but they were taken care of very quickly. A thing to be desired of in the other place. Now, it was time to open the Cryosleep caskets. Once one opened, all of them opened. And because Kanako's pistol was used so much, it broke on him just as he'd meleeed one. And now the zombies were eating the casket people. At this point, Mayu was the only best bet at saving them before they were either infected or eaten. The rescue process began, and hopefully these people would prove to be useful for the colony, if they joined. Oh, and then Aramade was being eaten alive again. His condition was not looking good. Mayu accidentally shot off his pinky, and the zombie bit off his index finger. But, hey, after all this time, I at least remembered to change the plant cut task. Finally. And the even better part is Madeline joined the colony after being saved. An extra helping hand would do wonders. Plus, her planting skill was 11, so that would do great for future farming endeavors. Now, it was time to rearm everyone and prepare for the next mess to come. A few extra cleanups here and there with cutting trees and finishing off the loose zombies would be the extra icing on the cake. And that's their story for now. Most of them aren't healing and the rest are doing their usual tasks for everyday survival. But still, that mechanoid cluster lurks. As I said before, this is a new sort of thing, so let me know what you all think. Like the video, comments, do it all to let me know that you want to see this story continue, or maybe let me know if you want to see a new one for next time. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.